Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So in today's video, we will be talking about Lautaro Martinez and him being linked with FC Barcelona. Then we are going to be talking about Lionel Messi's Instagram post. He did talk about Luis Suarez's departure and how he's going to greatly miss Luis Suarez, but he did say a few things in that statement that does need to be talked about. And lastly, we will be talking about the Barcelona youngsters, which is Riqui Puig and Araujo. And so we are first going to talk about Lautaro Martinez. And so the main reason why I'm going to bring this player in is because there is a story talking about Lautaro Martinez and a possible move to FC Barcelona. And so what I'm going to do is address this story. And so look, this saga should have been done weeks ago. And the fact that we heard that this saga has come to a conclusion weeks ago, it made sense, right? Because Barcelona is in this financial situation where they can't afford players like Lautaro Martinez. And so it made sense. It made sense for it to find its conclusion weeks ago. But then we have had a report coming from Jared Romero, who did state Barcelona is back for Lautaro Martinez. The club assures that it is complicated, but it is activated again after the departure of players that Barcelona could have. So when we're talking about Lautaro Martinez coming to Barcelona under these circumstances, I would take this with a grain of salt. And it does make sense for these outlets, these media outlets, to talk about Lautaro Martinez throughout this time, especially in the last 9 to 10 days of the transfer window. This is something that we do see every year, regardless if it makes sense or not. And 12 hours ago, we did see Suarez's departure away from FC Barcelona, so of course we're going to see things like this. And now that we have seen Luis Suarez leave FC Barcelona, the main story in Barcelona right now is, okay, how are we going to replace Luis Suarez? Who is going to take on that role? Which leads us to the discussion of, is Lautaro Martinez possible to come to FC Barcelona? And to be very honest, right now, if you're watching this video, I'm going to have to say no. Right now, Barcelona is focused on bringing in Eric Garcia and Serginho Dest. Lautaro Martinez will come later if they even have that discussion or if they even have that time. But let's just say, for argument's sake, right, is there value in this team in order to bring in Lautaro Martinez? And if we look at the remaining 3 players that are on the list to leave FC Barcelona, it is Todibo, Rafinha, and Samuel Umtiti. And the price that I'm going to be giving out will be the worst case scenario. I'm going to put these in the lowest cost possible for these players. So let's just say Todibo is sold for 80 million euros. Let's say that Rafinha is being sold for 10 million euros and that Umtiti gets sold for 25 million euros. In total, Barcelona would gain 53 million euros in cash. And even with that, because of the player sales that we have made and seeing how much wages we have saved a total of 52 million euros in wages. So now that Barcelona is paying 52 million euros less and have gained 53 million euros from Todibo, Rafinha, and Umtiti, seeing that it might be possible to bring in a player like Lautaro Martinez, do we really want to use all of the hard-earned money on one player? And that is my point. Do we really want to sell all of these players, save all of these wages just so we can get in one player? So if we do get that one player, which is Lautaro Martinez, Barcelona, the club, better make sure that player does fit extremely well in the first season. And so here's the final verdict. If we gain the funds, you either make sure that player fits extremely well or you invest those funds in a cheaper alternative. And I really want you guys to take note of this. Right now, Inter Milan are planning on negotiating with Lautaro Martinez after the transfer window is over. And it's a huge coincidence to hear that because, to be very honest, what I believe Inter is trying to do is that they are allowing this time frame of today and until the transfer window does close in order to receive a bid from potentially FC Barcelona. And so even if Inter Milan are giving that green light to say, look, you're more than welcome to come in and give us a bid throughout this time frame, I just don't think Barcelona is going to be able to meet those demands. And so there is 2 problems. First, they have to figure out, okay, how are we going to fund this operation? And the second problem is going to be, do we really want to spend all of this hard-earned money on one player? And so it does get very complex. And this is why I say that if we're talking about having Lautaro Martinez wear the Barcelona shirts in this upcoming season, I just don't see it happening. I do not see Lautaro Martinez coming in as a Barcelona player in this upcoming season. We even have Fabrizio Romano stating that Lautaro Martinez will 100% stay at Inter Milan. And so there you have it. I do not believe Lautaro Martinez will be a Barcelona player regardless of the stories that we do see and we might potentially see within these next 9 to 10 days. Moving on to the next topic of the day, and we are going to be talking about Lionel Messi's Instagram post statement that he did put up a couple of hours ago. So Messi did post a couple of pictures along with a statement on Instagram, and he did say a few things. It was a long paragraph. He was saying that he was going to miss Luis Suarez. He does not know how he's going to go along in this upcoming season, knowing that Luis Suarez will not be there anymore. And so it was a very sad thing to see, right? I understand that Messi and Suarez had a very good relationship, and so again, it was a very emotional time for Lionel Messi. But at the end of that statement, he did say a few words that really does need to be discussed. And he said this: "You deserved to leave as what you are and not to get kicked out like how they did. But the truth is that at this point, I am no longer surprised." I got 3 things from this statement, and I really want to make these 3 key points something that I really want you guys to really think about. And so my first point is this: Lionel Messi is not saying that he did want Suarez to stay in this upcoming season. He never said that. He never said that Suarez should have stayed. And I believe that that is how the people received it as. What Lionel Messi did recommend is that he believed that Suarez did deserve a better farewell. And to be very honest, you and me don't really know what exactly happened in that club when Suarez did leave. We don't know the full story. We don't know how the real farewell did happen, because to be honest, we don't work in that club. We don't know exactly what went on. The only 2 points that we can say is that yes, there was a phone call where Koeman did say that he does not count on Luis Suarez no more, and the other one was the payment problem, where Barcelona did not want to pay Luis Suarez his remaining last year wages. So could have there been other problems? We don't know. There may be or maybe not, but we don't know. And is it true that Suarez did deserve a better farewell besides having a phone call and not paying Luis Suarez what he needs to be paid? Yes, of course. I think that Luis Suarez should have had the best farewell. But the one thing to really take into account is that we have to know that Barcelona was hit with a pandemic. Barcelona were greatly hit financially because of that. And that only made Barcelona had to move into one way, and that is to move fast and save cash as fast as possible. Because in the end, Barcelona were really hurting financially. And so I believe that Barcelona were in a position where they had to choose. And that was, okay, do we want to move fast and save money, or do we want to give this player a proper farewell? Moving on to my second point. I think that this is the last thing the fans and the club wanted to hear 2 days before our first official match. Because look, right now we are about to start our last 2 training sessions before we do hit that match on Sunday. And right now we are also in the final days to find the conclusion of Eric Garcia and Serginho Dest. And so Barcelona sportingly is very busy. And I think that because of what Messi did say at the end of that statement really did remind everyone on just how divided this club really is. And do we really want to hear something like that 2 days before our first kickoff match? And as a captain of FC Barcelona, you do want to put these fires out. You want these players to be extremely focused. You want everyone within the club to be at peace, at rest, in order to bring the best results in your first match. But instead, because of those last 2 sentences, that has only reignited the fire. And because of that, that is why I have to talk about this in today's video. Now there's many arguments being made, and so all that tension is going to be surrounding the club. And I don't think that was the best idea to do. And look, maybe we don't even have to talk about us. Let's just forget about us fans and the people that work in the club. Who we really need to pay attention towards too are the youngsters in FC Barcelona. How do you think Trincao and Pedri are going to be feeling knowing that the president of Barcelona is not in good terms with the best player in the world? Because they could be saying, okay, so if the best player in the world cannot be in good terms with the president, what does that say for me? And then they could question, do I really want to be here? Maybe I could come into a point with this Barcelona club where I am going to find tension, just like how my mentor Lionel Messi is currently in. And so you see how complex it does really get, right? But this does lead to my last point. And this point that I'm going to make is not true. This is just me speculating, but it does make sense. And here's my point. Maybe the reason why Messi did put out a statement like that is because he does want to see Bartomeu out as soon as possible. I think that what Messi is doing right now is something that is extremely well calculated, because right now we are in a phase where they are validating the votes of the motion of no confidence, and immediately as soon as we do progress through that phase, when everything does get validated, there is going to be a question to the socios where they're going to ask, do you want Bartomeu as your Barcelona president? And I believe that with Messi saying this and reminding everyone on just how divided the players are with the president, that is greatly going to have the socios say, I don't want Bartomeu to be our president. Why would I want a president that cannot even keep a good connection with his own players, especially with the best player in the world, which is Lionel Messi. And so again, it is not 100% true that this could be Messi's intentions, but it is a very well calculated move if it was. And it does make sense to do this in the middle of validating these votes. And so again, I really do like this direction that Messi could be taking. Again, it's not official, I'm just speculating, but it is a very slick way of trying to voice your opinion without really saying anything. You're foreshadowing something and letting the socios come to their own conclusion. Now moving on to the last topic of the day, and I do want to quickly address one thing, and that is Riqui Puig and Araujo. And it says here it is confirmed. Riqui Puig and Araujo will start with Barcelona B. Even Miranda and Iñaki Peña will be part of the Barcelona B team for now. And so here's the thing, right? Many were assuming that Riqui Puig and Araujo are going to be playing in Barcelona B for this upcoming season. And that is only because they did not receive first team jersey numbers. But there is no correlation to that. Even with Riqui Puig and Araujo receiving non-first team numbers, they will not be in Barcelona B at all. We are going to see Araujo get game time as a first team player because there has been reports stating that Koeman is very impressed with Araujo's services. And as for Riqui Puig, a player that has been talked about a lot recently, he would also not be playing in Barcelona B. Because look, Koeman has already stated that Riqui Puig needs to go on loan, which means that he does want to see Riqui Puig play first team football, even if it's not in Barcelona. That is just what Koeman does desire. He believes that Puig should be playing first team football. And now with Puig coming to the conclusion that he does not want to leave, that would only mean that Puig will remain in the first team. Now it's going to be up to Puig to convince Koeman that he does have the quality in order to start in the starting 11. And do I believe he can do that? I strongly do. And I know that it can be very frustrating to see this because I know that Pedri is considered a first team player. He did get a first team number jersey, but that is only because of a contractual agreement. This is something that Pedri did sign with Barcelona. In the contract that Pedri did sign, it says that he would either join the first team or play for Barcelona B if they were in the second division. But unfortunately, Barcelona B did not make it to the second division and will be playing in the third division. And because of that, that only moved Pedri to the first team. And that is why we're seeing Pedri receive a first team number jersey. So that'll be it for today's Barcelona daily news. If you guys are wondering what happened to Eric Garcia and Serginho Dest, we are still in that phase where they're trying to find that final agreement for those players. There is nothing new. The only thing that we have been hearing is that they are super close with the agreement, but there's no new updates. I do expect Serginho Dest, if everything does go right, to be announced on either Monday or Tuesday. And as for Eric Garcia, maybe even later in that week. So again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.